Welcome to another show of Insiders Elite. As always, got the amazing Jamie Adamchuk with me today, and today we're going to have a look at the road so far, what got us to where we are, our journeys, and a bit of an interview type session. So I can't wait today, Jamie.
Insiders, welcome to the show today. We are excited to have everyone on board. We did some talking, we did some sharing, and we thought, how much have we actually shared? How much have we shared about what got us to this place? What about the road that we've taken so far? What made us or had us make the decisions that we've made to be in these positions right now? Why coaching? Why the heck would you want to get into coaching? You're both trade qualified people. Why would you want to do that? We're going to get deep into that today on this episode of Insiders Elite. And for any of you watching live, if you've got questions that you want to ask us, hey, we want to hear from you. We want to get those questions out there. Shoot us a message there, shoot us a DM here, shoot us in the comments and stuff. We'll see it come up, and we'll do everything that we can to get your questions answered. Today's going to be exciting. I'm excited about this. I was a little bit hesitant because, let's face it, with every journey, it's not always roses and rainbows. Look, for us to be here in this place, it's taken a lot of time. Mick, did this just happen overnight for us to be here?
Absolutely not. It's been a long and really enjoyable road.
Yeah.
Even the times where it wasn't amazing. Look back now and wouldn't be where I am, and I wouldn't swap it for anything. It's been a fantastic journey so far, and I suppose I'll start, Jamie.
Yeah.
Is there a specific moment where you thought or something shifted where you said, you know what, I want to do something different? Or when was that time when something shifted that started you on this journey?
Believe it or not, it actually started before I recognized it started. It was long before I was a coach or anything like that. I was a service supervisor at one of the world's largest equipment dealerships, and I worked with a lot of different people. I had a crew underneath me, and what I found I really enjoyed was when it came time for the annual reviews. When it came time to sit down and really look at people's performance, but not just the performance, more so what they wanted to do, where their aspirations were, what the next phase of the game was. I love that time. Right? Not to say you're doing a crappy job or anything. No, it's to look at those opportunities for them to really do a lot better. Now, I was a service supervisor at the time. I didn't realize what I was actually doing was a form of coaching. I just thought, well, this is my job. I got to do performance reviews. I got to do them once a year. I also recognized that because I enjoyed that so much, I wanted to do it more. Right? I still had no idea about coaching. Didn't have a clue about it. Didn't really know it was a thing at the time. I just knew that I love seeing these people improve. Me, a part of who I am as a human being is to really, truly help people. I love helping people. I love making those differences, giving people the proverbial shortcuts if they can. If I've got some knowledge up in my head that I can share to give those people those shortcuts, it's absolutely what I want to do. Now, I still didn't recognize at that point that I wanted to be on the path of where I'm at now. I had no clue. I left that position there, went to work for another company. And what had actually happened is it was the big downturn, right? This is back, this happened around 2015, I think it was, 2014 maybe, somewhere around there. We had a bit of a slowdown. I was in the oil and gas industry, and I had just recently moved my family. We went and bought this, great big house and all that for everyone to fit in and all that, big mortgage payments and all that. And I thought everything was going to be great. And 3 months into the job, 4 months into the job, I ended up sitting across the boardroom table, and I got handed over an envelope there. And in it were the severance papers, because they had to severely cut back on the workforce. And unfortunately, I was one of the ones to go. And in that moment, it scared me, right? I didn't necessarily have all the tools that I have. I didn't have any of that. And it's like, you know what? I got to do something here. I got to do something. I got to figure this stuff out. I'd been exposed to a little bit of the personal development stuff and all that. And it was in that moment that I really knew, hey, you know what? If I never want to have to worry about the golden handcuffs, if I never want to have to worry about having someone else in charge of my financial future, my family's financial future, I have to do something about it. I have to go out there. I have to make this name for myself. I love doing what I do. I love working with these people. And I thought, you know what? What if I could actually take a crack at this coaching thing? And it was probably in that moment, in a moment I didn't even expect to have happen, that this business, everything, that's really kind of how it all came about.
Well, that's a really, really powerful journey. And it's funny that when in the moments of we least expect it, when these decisions come to us, and so it's 2015, 2014, 2015, you've just been made redundant. What was the next step? What did you do then? You decided in that moment that you were going to tackle coaching or move down that journey. What was the next step for you? What happened?
Well, the first step was an oh shit step. Like, what do I do now? Seriously, what do I do now? Where do I go with this? What actions do I have to take so that, number one, I can afford this brand new mortgage, so that I can afford to take care of my family, my obligations, all that sort of stuff. Like I was the key breadwinner. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Right? What am I going to do? And I'm like, I remembered back to that moment of being able to help that team that worked with me, right? Being able to help those people. And I remembered how much joy I got. I'm like, I wonder if that's a thing. How could I go and really help a lot of other people, not just people that work with me, but maybe other people that need this knowledge. I mean, working for one of the world's largest equipment dealerships, you kind of gain a few business skills out of that. And it really got me thinking, how could I share this? Now, what's really interesting is Mick, your journey and my journey, there are some differences, but it's very, very similar, because what had happened shortly after I got laid off, and it was through some of the people that I knew at the head office and all that, an opportunity was presented for me to be a contractor and actually contract my services out to another company. So I did that. As I was doing that, though, I went and started to look into some coaching certifications to have something. I mean, at the time, I believed that, oh my gosh, no one's ever going to talk to me unless I've got the plaque on the wall. Right? I got to have some sort of fancy thing on the wall that says I can actually do this. Hey, I didn't know at the time. So I started researching some coaching programs. I found one that worked out, and I progressed along that path.
Yeah, that's and it's funny you say that. We have this, I suppose, deep down belief that we got to have some credentials on the wall, otherwise no one will believe we've got the skills or tools, which is so far from the truth. So you've started progressing down the coaching. You're learning the skills and tools that you need, which is important to get the skills and tools you need to be a coach. Yeah. So from that place to now, what's changed in your business journey? Because you were a Tony Robbins business coach, you've done some certification. How did that come about? And then what was the shift to bring you to where you are now?
Oh my God, it was an explosion. But here's the thing, right? I believe that opportunities are presented to us to test ourselves. I believe that myself, that opportunity that I was given when I was let go, when I received those termination papers, I believe that was the real true opportunity. But I don't think that I was ready for it. And I really think that's why that contractor position came along. It was there to test me. Okay, is he going to take the easy route, the guaranteed income route, or is he instead going to go for it and go on it at his own? Well, I'll tell you what, I took the guaranteed income route. Why? Because I was still in that place of fear. Right? I was coming from a place where, geez, what if I don't have enough? Like, I got a little severance package. Sure, I got some money and stuff, got the severance package and all that. But it's like the what if started coming along. What if I don't have enough? What if I can't take care of my family? What if I can't pay anything? So I took that contractor position. But in some ways, it was exactly what I needed, because guess what? Lo and behold, I was unfulfilled in that position, right? It was an interesting position. I got paid well, right? It wasn't for a lack of money or anything like that. I got paid well. It wasn't a problem. It was helping the business out. I was taking the money, and because I was a contractor, it was going all into the business. You know, I was funding the business and all those sort of things, taking a little bit for myself and whatnot. But what I recognized is I was not fully utilizing my skills. Right? I had, I guess, what you would call success, right? Success because, hey, I had the money coming in. I had all that stuff coming in. But you know what was missing? There was no fulfillment. There was absolutely no fulfillment with that whatsoever. And I recognized, you know what? I can't do this for a long term. And besides, you know what? I'll be the first one to say, I'm a crappy employee. I don't make a good employee. I'm not a good employee, right? I love being in charge of my own business. I love being able to do this. You know, a lot of people think with entrepreneurship, well, it's so much easier when you're a boss. To hell with that. I woke up at 4:20 a.m. this morning. I was in here at 5:30 a.m. this morning. So any of you out there, if you think that business is so much easier, trust me, it's not. Being in business is not. But here's the difference. I wanted to be here at that time. Right. I've been here now almost, well, I've been here a good solid 10 hours already. And I'm not sure if you can tell or not, I've still got that great energy ready to rock and roll. See, it doesn't stop me because I'm doing what I love. My journey, like I said earlier, it exploded. I recognized that I had to get so many more skills, not because I felt that I needed to have that fancy plaque on the wall. You know, by the time I got my internationally licensed NLP master practitioner's certificate, by the time I had all these sort of things, if you were to look in the studio, in the office here right now, you won't see a single thing on the wall, right? They're packed away in some box somewhere. Why? Because they're not important. That's not what's important. It's the skills, it's the knowledge, it's everything that we've got up here that's really, truly important. It was that explosion, though, that true, genuine thirst to want to know more. Look, you can't train people to do this. You can't train people to have that hunger. They've got to absolutely have it for themselves. And I recognize for me, that hunger, it was something that was very real. It was something that was very primal, and I knew I had to do whatever it took to satisfy it. And that's where that hunger for that knowledge, to expand, to grow, to learn from the world's absolute best. And that's what I did.
Yeah, that's really powerful, Jamie. And I think you said a few key things there. If the people that are listening around 11 and a half minutes, fulfillment. You can have a business and you can be generating income, but if it's not aligned with what you do, you won't get any fulfillment from it. If your business feels like a job, it's probably not fulfilling you. And it's really, really powerful. You can see the energy, you can see the enthusiasm in Jamie, and that's because he loves what he does. And that's why we love what we do, because if you love what you do, it won't feel like work. You might do 16 hours a day, 12 hours a day, but it won't feel like work because you love what you do. And that's one of the key things with being a business. It's doing things on purpose. You're there for 12 hours a day, but you're there by choice, not because you have to.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference between having your own business and having the freedom, because you're there by choice, as opposed to, people say when you've got business freedom, you don't have to work. Well, it's not, it's not the case. You get to choose. Yeah. The difference is, instead of having to do it, you get to choose whether you do it or not.
Yeah.
And when your business is on purpose, you get to choose that, it's my choice to get up at 4 a.m. and come into the office at 5:30 and do 12 hours on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's Jamie's choice.
Yeah.
And if Jamie chose to come in at 10, he could, but he loves what he does so much that when he has the opportunity, he's there, he does the work. And that's a reflection of the results that we've seen with your business so far.
Yeah.
Out of your journey to date, Jamie, I don't know if I've ever asked you this question before, but what's your biggest lesson?
It's persevering. It's not giving in when you start telling yourselves like, oh my God, this is too hard. This is too difficult. Well, what if I never succeed? It's looking beyond that. It's going the extra mile. David Goggins, I'm a big, big, big fan of David Goggins, right? And he talks about this in his books. When you think you've given your all, when you think you've given absolutely everything, congratulations, you've achieved 60%. You've still got another 40% in the tank. It's when we tap into that place, when we can truly get into that zone of genius, you can go and go and go. I mean, today, for an example, literally, I've been here now 10 hours. So looking at the clock right now, I've been here 10 hours. It feels like maybe 3. Okay, I've been in this office for 10 hours straight right now. It feels like 3 hours. I could literally go on forever. It's being able to know that you've got so much more. And here's the real key behind that, because those people who choose not to tap into that extra greatness, and that's really what it is. It's there. It's trust me, it's within each and every one of us. There's absolutely no question. Having seen it thousands of times before, having tapped into it thousands of times before, and teaching people how to do that, there's really no question that it's there. It's undeniably there. See, when you can tap into that, you truly become unstoppable. That's probably my biggest lesson, is recognizing that there is more. There is so much more And once you tap into that zone, what's the saying? Once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. Stephen King, done bun can't be undone. You know, once you've baked bread and turned it into it, you can't undo it. It's the same thing. Once you've seen that extra, once you've seen what's beyond that threshold, that's where all the rewards really, truly lie.
That's a really powerful lesson, and everyone should take note of that. Once your eyes have been open to something, you can't go back. That's one of the foundation principles of my business, which is where the name comes from, Awaken Business. Because once you've woken up and you can see the sunrise, life will never be the same again.
Yeah.
Because the way you see, once you've seen it, like you say, you can't unsee it. It's a really, really powerful lesson, and thank you, Jamie, for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. And with your journey so far, what's been the hardest decision or the hardest moment to date?
Hardest moment. That's a good question. Now, I'm going to explain why I say that. Because I've literally trained myself to look for the opportunities, right? You guys hear me. You hear me talk about it all the time. It's like, what's the opportunity here right now? And when I have to actually focus on, what's really challenging, when I look back at it, sure, there've been tough times. I'm not going to lie. Like, business is hard. But for me to just pick out one moment where everything, kind of came crashing down, or was the most difficult thing to do, I don't know that I necessarily have focus on one key area. Now, whether that's because I've just trained myself over and over and over, like, what's the opportunity? What's the greatness? Have I really fallen where it's been a complete, absolute, total disaster or failure where I haven't been able to recover? I don't have any of those times, right? I guess, maybe growing the business, maybe getting it out there, maybe, the investments, right? Coming up with that money when back in the days when I didn't have that money, right? Remember, I was laid off. I had a big ass mortgage to pay for. I had all these things that I had to pay for, and coming up with that money to invest in myself, getting over that idea that, okay, Jamie, you've got to go take that self-improvement course. You've got to go to Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny. You've got to take these programs on, right? I think for me, and those limiting beliefs that I used to have surrounding money, that might have been one of my biggest challenges to overcome, right? The idea that, oh my God, what if there's not enough? What if I can't do this? What if I can't afford it? I think that may have been, at least for me anyways, when I look at my entire journey, that's probably one of the biggest challenges that I've had to overcome.
That can be a huge challenge too, Jamie, that it's an internal battle. They're probably the toughest ones to deal with, because it's only you. Yeah. It's all you. It's on you. And that's really powerful. And it's fantastic that you've said that, because you've trained yourself to look for the opportunity. And everyone who knows, Jamie's the opportunity guy. When Jamie was my coach 3-4 years ago, Jamie would be like, I don't know, I'll be, talking about a challenge or something that's going on. And he's like, what's the opportunity here? I'm like, Jamie, there's no fucking opportunity here. Just let me be angry. And he would say, so what's the opportunity in this? And he wouldn't let it go. And I'm like, man, this guy needs opportunities. Damn. But after a few calls, I would be like, I know there's an opportunity here, but can you help me see it?
Yep.
The conversation would change from, I can't deal with this, what's going on, to, I know there's an opportunity in this. Can you please help me see it? And more and more. And now I'm looking for opportunities everywhere. Like Jamie said, it's a fantastic mindset to have in business and in just in life in general, because there's always opportunities. Even in the toughest place, there's always an opportunity.
Yeah. It's a real great lesson to have on your side. It took me a lot. Like, I'll be one of the first to admit, and this is me being vulnerable right here, money, right? And sometimes it still is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not Mr. Perfect where everything's just wonderful. Yeah, sometimes those money fears do creep up still. You betcha they do. Sometimes they still keep creeping up. But what do? I tap into those skills. I tap into those tools that I have and I teach, and I'm able to get myself out of that mindset. Because scarcity, because stress, because all of that, it's a choice. Now, I know, whoa, Jamie, scarcity, how is that a choice? When we put that energy out there, and please understand, guys, I'm not the woo-woo guy. I'm not the guy that talks about, energetic exchanges or anything like that. That's just not my jam. I'm the empirical facts, figures, like business, man. I'm that guy right there. But there is things that happen. If we go back to Napoleon Hill, right? Everything is matter and energy. That's it, right? Our thoughts are energy, right? If you don't believe it, go take a look at a brain scan. Someone thinks, what happens? Neural pathways fire in your brain. That's an energetic exchange. Thoughts are energy. And when we send those thoughts of scarcity, of all that sort of stuff out there, guess what we get? We bring more of that into our lives. I know this because I faced that for a very long time. I was sending out thoughts of scarcity and thoughts of not having enough and thoughts of going bankrupt all the time. Here's the thing. I've never been bankrupt. Thank goodness for that. But I've never been that. So if I've never been that, what would make me think that that's even an opportunity or that's even an option, right? It wasn't. What cured it? And I'm going to say cure for the most part. I don't know if I can say that word or not. But what really cured me of that affliction of constantly going into that place of focusing on the challenges and all that was recognizing that there always is an opportunity, right? Mick would say when we were coaching and stuff like that, I'd ask him, okay, what's the opportunity right here? Well, there is no freaking opportunity. Well, what if there was? Now, isn't that a better what if? Isn't that seriously a better what if? Oh, what if I go broke? What if I don't have enough? Well, what if there's an opportunity? What if that next opportunity is already waiting for you and you don't even know it? Now, that's powerful.
Yeah, and it is. And one of the, I suppose, biggest recurring patterns, and I'm sure you've seen this, Jamie, when you work with clients, is you say, oh, there's got this, blah, 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 whatever's going to happen. I've got this, but what if it doesn't work? But what if it does?
What if it does?
Oh, yeah, but what if it doesn't? But what if it does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, change your what ifs to look for the opportunity. That's the very first step for that opportunity mindset. Anyone who has people who are always looking for the downside, ask them a different question. And they say, well, what if this doesn't work? And what if that happens? And what if it works? Because what you focus on is what you get. And we teach this stuff, and it is absolutely, we teach it because it works. Yep. And it's not our stuff. We didn't invent it.
Nope.
They've been teaching this stuff for 100 years. What Napoleon Hill.
Yep.
What you focus on is what you get.
Yep.
So if you focus on it not working, guess what's going to happen? It's probably not going to work. If you focus on it working and what the opportunity is, guess what's going to happen?
Yep.
It's probably going to work, and you're probably going to find an opportunity. It is really that simple. Not as easy in practice. It takes practice, but that's the key, and that's really powerful, Jamie, that you shared that.
And you know what? Yes, I mean, Mick, you and I, we are very practical, very business guys. I mean, when you work with us, we're going to talk about your numbers in your business. We're going to get very, very, very factual about those sort of things. It's going to be, very matter of a fact. But I'll tell you what, that energy that you put out for that, even if you don't understand it, because trust me, you don't have to understand it. We don't need to understand. All we need to know is that the two key things in the universe is energy and matter. That energy has a profound effect on everything that's happening. I've got an opportunity, and I can't share a lot of details about it right now, but there's an opportunity that's come up that really I would have never even had the conception that it could even be a thing. Like it would have never, ever, ever crossed my mind. It's something I wanted, make no mistake. It's something that I thought would be really interesting, something really exciting. But in a million years, I would have never thought, oh man, that's possible for me. I didn't go into the place of being negative. I didn't tell myself those thoughts, oh, I can't have that. I just kept that idea. It's like, you know what, this would be really great. If I could accomplish something like this, or if I could do something like that, that would be really awesome. Right? I kind of saw myself in that place a couple times. Well, a phone call I just got off of a couple hours ago, it's made one of those opportunities at least a possibility at this point.
Mm.
And that's what's really cool about it. When we really focus in on what we want, when we get clear about it, when we eliminate that negative garbage, right? And this is a lot of that training coming out. When we eliminate that negative garbage, we can actually create that for our lives. It's not BS. It's not woo-woo stuff. It's not just some garbage thing you hear, these gurus, these Tony Robbins and all that saying, yeah, just think it and it'll happen. You've got to get that clear, because that energy When you're sending that energy out, you're going to get what you send out. It's like, oh, I can never do that. No, it's just too big. It can never happen. They're not going to know about me. That's what you're going to get. Instead, change it. Right? We talk about, one of the hardest things I've had to overcome was getting from that place of the scarcity mindset, right? Overcoming those fears, getting over, Ken Honda. I talk a lot about Ken Honda. He's got the program Healing Your Money Wounds. That's an awesome program. You can check it out on mindvalley.com. Right? Quite seriously, go to mindvalley.com. Vishen's got some great stuff on there. Go check out Ken Honda. Just an amazing, amazing program. It's utilizing these skills and these tools. For me, it was overcoming that adversity within myself of really, truly getting rid of that scarcity mindset. What's possible? What's the opportunity here right now? That changed my life.
That's powerful. I can fully relate to that, and Jamie knows we've had some conversations where you're like, oh, I don't know, what, and just eliminating that scarcity mindset is probably one of the most powerful changes you can make, because as soon as you get rid of scarcity, abundance flows in every area of your life. And like you say, it's not woo, it's reality.
Yeah. No question. No question.
Let
me ask you a question.
Far away.
You've made some really big changes as of late, some really exciting changes, no question about it whatsoever. But before we get to that, the idea, much like you asked me, how did the journey start? I've got to ask you, because, when I've worked with you, I've got the advantage and the absolute pleasure to be able to have worked with you for many, many, many years now. But what was it that got you onto the path to really launch Awaken Business? How did you know that this was something that was really, truly right for you?
So, like you, Jamie, this probably started 10 or 11 years ago. I was a supervisor at a company. I had a crew of, I don't know, maybe 14 people or something like that. And I really loved developing them and that side of things. But I really loved that. But I had it in my head then that I wanted to, people would ask me, what's your ultimate job? Oh, a business consultant. What do they do? Whatever they want. They do got the best job. They come in and tell people what's wrong with their business. It's the best job ever. So I had this thing in my head that I wanted to be a business consultant way back then. So I thought back then about doing some study. So in 2011, I think, or 12, I can't remember, we did a government-run program, which was run by the Melbourne Business School at one of the Melbourne universities. So as a leader in the business, I got the opportunity to go away and do this business course. It was like a condensed MBA targeted for small business, and it was really brilliant. I loved it, and it was a precursor to me doing my university. And I was like, I'm going to be a business consultant. You need a uni degree, otherwise no one will take you seriously. So I went and studied an MBA. I learned so much out of it, and I'm so glad I did it, because I don't care. I've got a certificate somewhere here. I don't know, in a plaque and that. I think it's under the desk. Like you say, I could have it hanging on the wall. I've got my master's degree, but the skills and tools I learned were way more valuable than the frame.
Yeah.
And so that got me on the journey to learn business, and I love business. And then I thought to myself, I still wanted to be, and then it shifted from being a business consultant that I wanted to be on the board of small business that have grown to a point where they have a board and guide and mentor them as a advisor or a consultant or whatever, but on their board as a paid board member to help grow the business, and sort of like a coach would be. And that was where I wanted to go and help do that, and have 6 or 8 companies that I worked with and grew their business. And then I came across some personal development, but that's what triggered me down that path is that desire to help business, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Right. Again, look at what you and I've got in common here. It's that true desire to help people, help business, take the knowledge that we've got and truly make a bigger difference. I honor that in you, brother. I absolutely, totally honor that in you, because that's the secret to it all. I mean, Mick, you and I, we've both done a ton of stuff through Tony Robbins. I mean, I was a Tony Robbins coach, business trainer, and 6 Human Needs. 6 Human Needs is something that's very common to both of us. Right. And it's interesting the way Tony laid out the 6 human needs, because he actually makes the most important one, the last one. He talks about certainty, uncertainty, significance, growth, love and connection, because sometimes you don't have love, you've got connection, but the last one is contribution. Look at that. Look at what you're doing, brother. You're finding the time to actually contribute your knowledge, to contribute your expertise, to see people do more. That's maybe one of the secrets in life. What are your thoughts about contribution?
Yeah, Jamie, I think it's the secret sauce in life, to be honest, mate. I always have. I was, 21 years old, playing football. I coached under 10 football. I didn't have any kids at the time, so it wasn't for me, it wasn't like I've got kids and I'm coaching my own kids. But I wanted to help. I wanted to give back to sport, so I've always had a desire to help, whatever, no matter what, and contribute, and I think it's the secret sauce in life. They say the secret to living is giving, and I absolutely believe that it fills you up from the inside, mate. It's the most important human need, I feel.
I do too. Would you say that's one of the key factors that's led you to where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. And it took a little while for me to discover that. So I did some personal development. Like you say, I've done a heap of stuff through Tony Robbins and others. And on that journey, I realized that what drives me is the need to help, to contribute. And that's what was my purpose in life, is to help people grow and, increase and do whatever, like just contribute and help people. That's something that drives me.
Yeah.
And I love business. I always have. I've always had a desire to be involved in business no matter what. I always had it in my head as a Sparky, I'll go start my own business because I want to be in business. Yeah. And I was a key part of the last business I was in, and I was a part owner and stuff. So I didn't need to go start my own business, but it wasn't fulfilling me in the need to help others as much as this. So that desire, that need for contribution, that need to help others was the key driver for me. Once I started in the personal development, I was like, this is where I want to be. I learned some coaching skills, and this is the path I want to be on long term. These skills are the secret to a fulfilled life. This is where I'm going. I 100% knew that that's what I wanted to do when I grow up.
And here's what's great, brother, because you said this before when you were talking about me. You're working on purpose. You're living to your purpose of life, of business, of everything. And when you're aligned with that, guess how much easier fulfillment comes, right? Exponentially easier. We've talked a lot about personal development. We've kind of touched on some of those topics for personal development. I got to know, right? Listing up maybe in order of importance or maybe not. If you could pick out, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 people, people that have really influenced you when it comes to personal development, when it comes to learning and knowledge, and you being able to share what you will and what you do with Awaken Business, who's really impacted you?
And putting them in order of importance would take some time. Yeah. So I'm probably just going to list my top 5 of people that have had a profound influence on me. And obviously we've mentioned Tony Robbins. He was the catalyst for me to move down this. So his stuff and his programs and his courses have had a pretty huge impact on me. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of a lot of those. I did my coaching journey started with learning some stuff from Scott Harris, who does a lot of work with Tony. He's his main man over in America. And he's fantastic. I really love what I learned from him. I'm going to say I'm currently working with Kerwin Ray, and he is absolutely brilliant. If those haven't heard of him, look him up. He is absolutely, I love his directness, and his knowledge is unbelievable. And the way he explains complicated concepts and what he brings to you is just out of this world. So he's been a huge influence.
And I'll jump in and I'll second, third, fourth, and fifth that for Kerwin Ray. Please, if you don't know who he is, take the time right now. What are we? We're 34 minutes in. Listen to this segment. Go look up Kerwin Ray. Do yourself a favor. Yeah,
he's brilliant. And so probably one of the biggest influences on my mindset and business and leadership was Simon Sinek. He's got It Starts With Why, Leaders Eat Last. He's been a massive influence. And I'm probably going to say Jamie Adamchuk. I had him as a business coach for about 18 months, and he had a really huge impact on me and helped me discover what I love and pushed me to achieve things. Like started working with Jamie, and I told him I had a desire to write a book. And Jamie shared this with me later on. He's probably had 200 or 300 clients say they want to write a book, and probably 2 have actually done it and fulfilled it. And I was one of the 2. So I wrote a book and released it and launched it. Didn't sell any. I sold 2 copies, so I tell a lie. And but I did it. And that was something that I thought I would never do. And yeah, Jamie had a big influence on me as a coach there. They're the top 5.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You're making me blush a little bit here. I'm feeling all emotional and stuff now. All right. The heart Care Bear is going to come out here. That's awesome. Thank you. It's those are some amazing people, right? Those are some amazing, absolutely incredible people. I want to say differences, right? Differences with respect to, what you pulled out of each of some. If there was maybe, a couple golden nuggets. Kerwin, you talked about his directness, right? You absolutely talked about his directness, and Kerwin's very direct. And it's one of his blessings about him. He's an amazing man. But what are some of those other things, like Simon? If we were talking about Simon Sinek, I love Simon Sinek as well. I'm a big fan of him. His book, Start With Why. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to it. I'm an Audible guy, so I listen to the books and all that. But the guy's gold, right? The guy's got absolute gold. What is it about him? What is that one thing that's really had you say, you know what? Yeah, he's one of my mentors. He's one of my people that have helped me get here.
So I think for me with Simon, it was about highlighting the importance of our purpose and why we do things. I always said, it's important to know why, whatever, but I didn't realize that when you put that at the center of everything and the way you think and his concept around the way the brain works, and like I'd never heard it like that, and I didn't understand why it lands for some and not others, and why, and understanding that, it sort of changed the way I thought about business. Mm-hmm. And that's why he was a big influence. And his book Leaders Eat Last, and he talks about the way you lead your teams and having a purpose and having all that included, and building trust, just his thought process and how it but I love the way he connects it to the science of the brain. And that's one thing I love about Kerwin. He teaches stuff, but he also tells you the science, why it works. He's done the research, so he doesn't share anything that he hasn't done the research. That's why I love what he teaches, because every single thing, there's evidence it works, and he's done the work, and he's got the science, and he just lays it all out, like the energy stuff. He literally showed us the energy and photos and how it all works, and showed the science. I'm like, you can't argue. It works. There's science. Like, I'm a facts guy. Like you say, I like business. Look at the numbers. Let's do this. I'm not a energy woo-woo, guy. But when you see the science, you're like, that shit works.
Yeah. And again, we're not beating up on you woo-woos out there. Please don't think we're beating up on you woo-woos. We love you.
It works.
Because it works. We want to take that woo-woo and we want to bring it into a practical business experience. We know it works. We might not be all, as woo-woo, but we know this stuff works. We've seen it. We've seen far too much proof after seeing it hundreds, if not thousands of times with the many clients that we've worked with, right? When they utilize these tools and these skills, we see the results of that. It's just an absolute no-brainer. So yeah, woo-woos, we love you. We really do. Right? We really do.
We absolutely do.
The road ahead. Let's jump into the road ahead. I know you've got some exciting things coming up with yourself, with Awaken Business, with really taking that next, gargantuan leap forward. Can you give us a little preview of maybe what that road ahead looks like? Where are you going?
Thank you, Jamie. That is a fantastic question, because both of us are opportunities people. While we love the past and we reflect on it, we learn lots of really important lessons along the way. We both like to look forward. It's one of my values is to always move forward and be looking forward. So for me, the road ahead, I'm launching a 6-week program, middle of October. I'm going to confirm the date and announce that in the next week. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm also going to do a live stage presentation here locally sometime in October as well.
Awesome.
I'm really passionate about helping regional communities because they don't often get the opportunities to have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of development knowledge shared around the community. You know, you get the odd person come to town and they might do a 2-hour presentation once or twice a year. Like, I want to be able to give back to the community. So I want to be able to share some of that knowledge, which is fantastic. And then I'll be running more of these 6-week courses. I've got my 12-month program that I work with business owners, which is all around freedom. And like I say, freedom doesn't mean you don't have to go to work. It means you choose when you have to. That is the power of freedom. You get to choose. It's the freedom of choice, not the freedom of just, I don't have to be there. If you choose that, that's cool. Let's put the things in place. That's your choice. But the difference is the choice to be there and not have to. So my freedom program, I'll be working with clients all across Australia, even the world potentially. So yeah, I'm really excited to grow that business and help as many businesses as I can. You know, my goal this year is to help 20 businesses with my freedom program. So hopefully I can, well, not hopefully, I'll be out there, put myself out to make sure I can help as many of them as I can.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I've had the privilege to be able to get a bit of an inside look at Mick's program there. It's bloody outstanding. Like it is incredibly, amazingly out. Anyone who's going to jump into this here, the massive value that they're going to achieve out of this, the skills that they're going to learn, the advancement that they're going to experience in their business. Like, I don't say this lightly. It's going to blow their freaking minds. Like, seriously, program, brother, it's outstanding, right? High fives to you. High fives to you.
Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate that, mate. It means a lot.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's where I'm heading in the next 6 to 12 months. I'm really excited to go and deliver, and especially for my local community. Like I said, that, you know, regional communities don't get a lot of opportunity with to have experts come in and share their knowledge. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to be able to do that.
Yeah, that amazing contribution back to Mount Isa, back to the area, the regional area, and all that. That's invaluable. Right, that's absolutely, completely invaluable. So I'm excited to see all the support, all the people that are going to show up, and all that. This is going to be amazing. Why? Because you want to give back, because you want to step into that place of contribution and really give a meaningful contribution to all the amazing people there. That's awesome of you, brother. I'm excited for that. And of course, right, as we get more information coming up on both your programs, we're going to share them out here on the show. We want you to be able to have access to be able to get in touch with Mick directly, whether it's, sending a DM, whether it's, just jumping on and signing up for his program right away, whatever it is. We're going to be sure to share that information out here on the program as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Jamie. And like I said, anyone who is interested, wants to know more, reach out, message, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, awesome. Thank you, Jamie. Really appreciate that.
Definitely. No, it's been excellent. With that said, I think we've come to the end for here. I know there's a ton more questions. There's a ton more. Maybe we'll have to do a follow-up episode or something like that. But it's been really great. If there's one message you want to leave the listeners with today, Mick, if there's something that, as you reflect on your journey, as you reflect on the steps that you've taken, the knowledge that you've gained, everything, what's the big key piece of knowledge, the big, beautiful thought that you'd want to leave with everyone here today?
I think if there's one thing people can take away from my journey, I suppose it's got to be do the work, take action. Yeah. It's all good to have an idea, and you can have ideas, but until you take that first step, nothing will happen. And it can be a small step. It doesn't matter how big. Literally just take a step. Writing a book, I wrote a page. Yeah. I didn't write 120 pages in one night and say I've written a book. I wrote a page. I wrote a paragraph, actually. Actually, what I did is wrote the chapter headings.
Yeah.
So when you have something, take action. Take a step. It doesn't matter how small, but take a step, because it builds momentum. That's the key thing, is no matter what you decide, whatever it is, just take a step.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, we'll call it a wrap for today. Really exciting. Hey, if anyone's got any questions, if they want to ask us some questions, if you want to get your questions answered live on the show, we welcome you. Send us a DM, shoot us an email, shoot us anything. There's about a million different ways that you can get a hold of us out there in the great big social media world. We look forward to being able to answer your questions and really help you move forward. After all, it's why we started this weekly live show in the first place. So again, thank you very much. Mick, final words?
No, thank you. Just want to appreciate everyone. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all of the viewers. I think we're up to like around episode 70 odd, or like we've gone for probably 18 months nearly now. And I just want to thank all the viewers and everyone who watches every week and who's watched once even. But thank you, and that's why we started the show, is so that we can help people. So thank you very much, and have an awesome week.
We appreciate your support. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.